Some
That would
signals
piss
there.
me off. That would piss me off.
From shirtless wedding chaos to stadium-sized life decisions, the Swift-Kelce universe is truly choosing violence. First up, Jason Kelce casually threatens to turn Taylor and Travis's wedding into an HR nightmare, with insiders revealing exactly who would be the most horrified if he ditched the shirt. And then, an NFL analyst accidentally sends fans spiraling by hinting at what Taylor and Travis's next chapter might include.
Guy's a Hall of Famer. He's getting married to Taylor Swift, having a kid with her.
Moving on, things get emotional as Taylor tears up over a deeply personal letter from Travis in her Eras Tour docuseries.
I selfishly say thank you for creating this legendary tour and to Robert for making you stop through Kansas City, Missouri.
Next, plot twist, the Chiefs shake up Kansas City by officially heading to Kansas.
It was important to the state of Kansas that we build a dome, and really as we look to the future.
And finally, Taylor breaks down why Travis understands her world in a way her past relationships never quite did.
Somehow there's been this dynamic shift with Travis because it's shocking how many similarities we have towards our jobs and how we view them.
Travis Kelce recently found himself in the middle of a mini-storm after a Kansas City-based reporter publicly questioned whether he would face the media following a rough loss. That simple sports take somehow turned into open season, with Swifties swooping in like protective dragons guarding their night. The backlash was swift, loud, and very on brand, with fans arguing that Travis barely touched the ball and therefore shouldn't be the designated spokesperson for a team-wide flop. The reporter didn't expect his tweet to summon the Fandom Avengers, but alas, lesson learned, when Taylor Swift is involved, even a post-game question can turn into a full-blown fandom firefight. Meanwhile, while fans are busy defending Travis online, his brother Jason is accidentally teasing wedding chaos. The retired Eagles legend is already joking about whether he'll keep his shirt on at Travis and Taylor's eventual wedding, and apparently the only person truly panicking about that possibility is his wife, Kylie. Jason fully knows that ripping off his shirt would not offend the bride or groom nearly as much as it would deeply upset Kylie, who has already lived through one very public, very shirtless Jason moment involving Taylor Swift. The first time Jason met Taylor was already a spectacle, complete with him leaping out of a suite like a man possessed by pure vibes.
Oh, there's his brother. Says right on, that's Jason.
Kylie reportedly had issued a clear warning beforehand and was less than thrilled when Jason decided to unleash his signature chaos anyway.
She was already telling me to be on my best behavior because we were meeting Taylor. So she's like, do not be on your best behavior.
Jason, being Jason, leaned into his charm and clearly has zero regrets, though he does acknowledge that his wife was not exactly clapping from the sidelines.
This is part of the Jason Kelce charm. I want to make my best first impression. Yeah, I don't think she was happy about it.
And while the internet is still nervously side-eyeing the fate of Jason's shirt, the conversation suddenly swerves into full next chapter unlocked territory for Taylor and Travis, because apparently football commentary is now also a crystal ball. During a recent breakdown of the Chiefs' very unfairy tale loss, one analyst casually slid in a comment that sent fans clutching their phones like they'd just seen a spoiler alert for real life. He framed Travis as a man who has already won at life, pointing out that between Hall of Fame status, an upcoming wedding to Taylor Swift, and the assumption that a baby is already on the way, the tight end is basically speedrunning adulthood on expert mode. The remark landed less like sports analysis and more like an accidental gender reveal party, instantly igniting fan chatter across timelines.
Guy's a Hall of Famer. He's getting married to Taylor Swift, having a kid with her. He probably flies everywhere private and has private security everywhere he goes. And he's just kind of running around this fucking Titans game. It was officially a feel bad for Kelce.
The idea itself isn't exactly coming out of nowhere. Taylor and Travis have both been open, in different eras of their life, about thinking ahead. And with an engagement already locked in, fans are now treating every sentence like a scavenger hunt for baby clues. People are reading into everything from facial expressions to song lyrics to how gently Travis interacts with literally any child in a 5-mile radius. And yes, that includes his role as the world's most enthusiastic uncle, because sources insist that watching him dote on his nieces has only fueled the dad Kelce theories even more. Taylor's past reflections on motherhood have always been layered, evolving alongside her career and personal life, and fans are fully aware of that nuance even as they spiral. Still, the mood now feels different. After years of highly public heartbreak and very loud healing, insiders describe this chapter as softer, steadier, and way more domestic than people ever expected. Travis proposing in a quiet garden rather than a stadium reportedly sealed that vibe, with sources saying the moment was intentionally private, romantic, and wildly un-NFL in the best way. And just as that softer, steadier era starts feeling real, the emotional floodgates swing wide open in Taylor's world when Travis proves he can win hearts without even being in the room. In the final episode of her Eras Tour docuseries, Taylor completely lost it in the best way after receiving a handwritten letter from Travis that arrived with flowers right before her last run of shows. The moment was peak rom-com energy, with Taylor reading the note aloud and immediately spiraling into laughter and tears because of how deeply personal it was. Travis reportedly reflected on that now iconic night when he first saw her perform, back when he was just a hopeful guy with a friendship bracelet plan that didn't quite pan out. Taylor cracked up at how he described being instantly smitten by a woman who had no idea he existed at the time. The letter apparently went full sentimental, crediting the tour for literally changing his life and casually acknowledging that a certain Kansas City stop flipped his entire world upside down. Taylor had to pause, collect herself, and remind her tear ducts that she still had rehearsals to get through.
So many unbelievable memories in this tour, but my favorite one is seeing you in concert for the first time, being mesmerized and swept off my feet by a woman who doesn't even know me. I selfishly say thank you for creating this legendary tour, and to Robert for making you stop through Kansas City, Missouri. That night, too, in KC was the beginning of me meeting the love of my life.
She joked about trying to stay emotionally stable for the final shows, but that plan reportedly failed almost immediately. Things got even more surreal on the very last show day. With Travis stuck at an NFL game, Taylor still managed to make him part of the moment by rocking a vintage Chiefs windbreaker while heading to the venue, because subtlety has never been her brand. Backstage, she and her dad watched the game together, which felt like an alternate universe glitch neither of them saw coming. Taylor apparently found it hilarious that sports had officially entered her daily vocabulary this late in life, yet there she was, fully invested. She insisted on keeping the game on while rehearsing her secret songs, multitasking like a pop icon who refuses to choose between love and legacy. She reportedly kept stopping mid-practice to react to the plays, and when Travis's team scored, she fully screamed like a fan who forgot she was minutes away from making history herself. And while Taylor was literally screaming mid-song over football scores, the Chiefs are making franchise-level moves that feel just as dramatic as a season finale plot twist. The decision to pack up and cross the state line into Kansas didn't come easy, especially after decades of Arrowhead memories baked into the concrete and the eardrums of opposing teams. The whole thing is a slow-burning heartbreak mixed with a very practical spreadsheet moment where emotions were acknowledged but timelines, approvals, and paperwork ultimately called the shots. Behind the scenes, Missouri talks dragged on like a group chat where no one can agree on dinner plans. Multiple parties, overlapping approvals, and unresolved details kept things stuck in neutral, while Kansas reportedly slid in with a cleaner pitch, fewer cooks in the kitchen, and a much faster green light. Kansas managed to move from proposal to approval in under 3 months, while Missouri's process stretched past a year, testing patience and momentum.
We had a great dialogue with Missouri all the way through the end of last week. Just frankly, not everything was resolved that needed to be resolved. The big difference is we were working with one party here, the state of Kansas, and in Missouri we were working with the governor's office, the county, and also the city. And we just didn't get there from the timeline standpoint.
The move itself carries some serious emotional weight. Arrowhead isn't just a stadium, it's basically a personality trait for fans, and the team is very aware of that. There's real attachment to the legendary tailgating culture and the absurd noise levels that have literally shaken the league record books. Those two elements are being treated like sacred artifacts, with plans to recreate the chaos just under a shiny new roof. And yes, that roof is a big deal. The dome was a major selling point, opening the door to events Kansas City has had to watch from the sidelines for years. Think Super Bowls, Final Fours, and playoff games without frostbite.
It was important to the state of Kansas that we build a dome, and really as we look to the future, I think that makes the most sense. I'll come back to my comments about building a facility that can host big events.
The new setup isn't just a stadium either, it's an entire mixed-use district, complete with team facilities, surrounding development, and enough infrastructure to scream future-proof. Financially, sources describe the deal as a public-private partnership with both sides invested, literally and figuratively. The Chiefs are footing the bigger chunk, Kansas is backing the vision, and everyone is betting on long-term payoff. Decisions like seat licenses are still TBD. With those conversations will come once the blueprints stop changing.
So the stadium we estimate will be approximately $3 billion. The practice facility will be approximately $300 million. And then we have committed to do a mixed-use district that will have at least $700 million invested, both in Olathe and Wyandotte County, and it could go up from there.
And with the Chiefs busy planning their shiny future, Taylor shifts gears and zooms all the way in on her personal life, opening up about why Travis just gets her in a way past relationships never quite cracked. The latest revelations from her docuseries feel like a soft launch masterclass in emotional compatibility, minus the cringe. Taylor breaks it down in the simplest way possible. Travis understands the chaos because he lives in his own version of it. Different uniforms, same pressure cooker. Her realization is less lightning bolt and more, wait, you speak my language?
I've realized that with this person in my life that just was the right fit for me, you can have the two passions coexist, and they actually fuel each other. Somehow there's been this dynamic shift with Travis because it's shocking how many similarities we have towards our jobs and how we view them and how we view each other. It's our passion. We've been chasing this since we were little kids. So I don't think I ever thought I'd meet a guy who had that same trajectory.
Apparently a big push came from her mom, Andrea, who insiders say took one look at the headlines and went full investigative mode. After learning about Travis showing up to her show, armed with a friendship bracelet and optimism, Andrea did what any protective mom would do: background checks, vibe checks, and a deep dive into whether this man loves his mother. Once that box was checked, the mission became figuring out how to make this meet cute actually happen.
I'm looking at the headlines of perusing around what's on the internet, and I see that this guy came to your show and he brought a friendship bracelet and wants to meet you. And so, of course, I call up my resident expert on Kansas City Chiefs, my cousin Robin, and I go, tell me about this guy named Travis Kelce. And she goes, oh my God, he's the nicest guy. And you know what? He really loves his mom.
Taylor also explains that what really sealed it wasn't grand gestures, but the shared grind. She connected deeply with how Travis approaches his career because, shockingly, an NFL season and a global tour have a lot in common. Both involve massive crowds, relentless schedules, and the expectation to show up fully formed no matter what's going on behind the scenes. Taylor found it refreshing to be with someone who doesn't flinch at fame, but also doesn't treat it like a personality trait. Sources note that she contrasts this with past relationships where fame felt like an obstacle rather than a shared reality. With Travis, there's mutual respect for ambition, space for individuality, and zero confusion about what it means to live publicly while protecting what's private. Taylor apparently loves that they can cheer each other on without competing or shrinking. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.